What up, guys? It's Quincy with Coin Club Crypto. Welcome to my channel. Be sure to like and subscribe and share with your friends. You find the topics we talk about quite interesting. All right, let's get into it. So today we're going to be talking about the future of blockchain payments with DApps, instant liquidity, and CBDCs. We're going to be talking about liquidity tokens and smart contract platforms. So liquidity token is primarily going to be a token in which you're able to make payments in and out of a certain currency, asset, derivative, or any sort of financial instrument of some sort with quite ease and essentially with liquidity. A good example of a liquidity token would be XRP and XLM. The reason why they're good liquidity tokens is they're able to provide not only a good base token where they're able to make payments instantaneously, but they can also issue underlying assets like stocks, bonds, currencies, and other derivatives like gold, silver, commodities, stuff like that. And then we've got smart contract platforms. I've got SCP over here. And in smart contract platforms, we're able to essentially allow a executable contract be able to make a payment on that contract and then execute some automation somewhere else on the blockchain to fulfill some sort of business need of some sort. Now, smart contract platforms, something that people don't typically talk about, also offer something that are called, well, regular contracts. And just like any regular contract, with the regular contract, well, at least on a smart contract platform, you're able to cryptographically hash the signatures of the participants in the contract and able to engage in an online transaction of any sorts, whether it's big, small, whatever it may be. And you're able to use the cryptographic nature of these blockchain platforms to be able to execute contracts where people are able to engage in a transaction, and smart contracts where people are able to create automated sequences on these blockchain networks. Now, all of these tokens all have in common are being fast, cheap, highly liquid, and yes, although liquidity tokens are primarily the ones that have issued assets under them, smart contract platforms also are able to issue assets under them. And you may be going, Quincy, if you're able to issue the underlying assets on a smart contract platform, why would I ever need a liquidity token? Yes. Well, I'll explain quite a bit before we get into this. Well, with a smart contract platform, you're able to have that native smart contract with that native token basically able to allow you to create an automation for your application on that platform, whatever that platform is, whether it's Ethereum, Algorand, Corda, whatever you want it to be. And we'll go into some of these other blockchain platforms and what they're able to do in a little bit. But you're able to take the native token, execute a smart contract, and conduct an automation. Well, this is great and all, but what happens if everybody's operating on different smart contract platforms? Like, I like to use Corda, but my friend may like to use Ethereum, and another one of my friends like to use Algorand, and some of them are ISO and some of them aren't ISO. Well, the liquidity tokens end up being great. And one of the beautiful things about XRP and XLM is XRP is ISO and XLM is not. Now, what is ISO? Now, you may be going, ISO, ISO, ISO. You've said this 3 times now. What is this ISO? In the current banking payment system, they have what's considered a ISO certification, which is basically a messaging standard that allows for individuals and banks to all be on the same standard when it comes to messaging for global payments. Now, currently, the ISO system is primarily dominated by a payment system known as the SWIFT system. But the new integration of the ISO system is a new payment, let's call this a new payment framework for the future, in a sense, that allows for a broader array of different type of message formats and payment formats to be allowed on this network. So what does that mean? Well, that means all the banks in the world are all coming together and saying, hey, this is the standard we're using. If you send me money, you better send it like this, or I'm not going to take it. Hear that? I'm not taking your money unless it's in this ISO standard. And this just allows us to make sure we have a constant standard for all the banks that they interact with and a global standard. And this isn't just banks. Exchanges operate on the standard. Most financial institutions that are operating in an international way in any sorts is operating on the standard due to the being able to have the broad liquidity to all those other financial institutions because, well, it's the standard. They know they're able to go there and able to conduct transactions in whatever means they find necessary. So we've gone over liquidity tokens, we've gone over smart contract platforms. So you want to build a DApp. Let's build an application, right? All right, what should this DApp do, right? This decentralized app. Well, you know what? I am kind of salty about that whole deal with Robinhood. So what if we created a decentralized Robinhood so we don't get the stupid manipulation on behalf of not only the exchanges, but really the rest of the financial system, considering nothing was done about it. So let's say I want to create a decentralized Robinhood where I'm able to trade stocks, derivatives, and maybe I want to throw some cryptos in there too. And maybe I also want to be able to throw in a card. Yeah, here we go. So I could have an exchange platform that's able to exchange stocks, exchange crypto, and have a card to liquidate my payments on demand from my account. Boom. All right. We got the dream here. We're going to go out here and we're going to make $1 billion. Now, how are we going to build this app? So, cool. We've got our idea, stocks, cryptos, account, card, payments, you're chilling. I'm able to go to, and at the end of this, when we build this app, I'll be able to go in, hold my money in milk derivatives. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Milk derivatives. Hold its value better than gold. And really, in my opinion, it's really the entire functionality of a store of value, but it's not as liquid as people would like. But in this scenario, it would be. So let's say I held $20,000 in milk derivatives, right? And I wanted to be sure I can go out and buy a freaking car. Well, they don't take milk derivatives for payment when you go out and buy a car. They take cash. So in this payment system, I want to be able to take my store of value, my real store of value. Yeah, that's right. Take that gold. Gold? Yeah, bullshit. Fuck you. Bitcoin? Nope, you're not a store of value. Milk derivatives? And you guys think I'm kidding. This is the dream. This is the dream. Hold my money in a real store of value. Milk derivatives has a constant demand of people constantly ordering milk products. Milk, cheese, ice cream. I know I'm going on. It sounds kind of goofy, but I'm dead serious. I want to be able to hold my money in a commodity that it can actually hold its value better than any other sort of financial instrument that, any of the financial institutions are trying to push on you. Anywho, so let's build this app. How are we going to do it? Well, we need to pick a smart contract platform. That's right. We need to pick a smart contract platform because we want this to be centralized. So how are we going to do this? Well, we want this to be fast, cheap, and liquid. So we know that we typically like to work on Ethereum, but Ethereum isn't very fast, isn't very cheap, and it's very, very liquid, but we still need to be able to conduct very fast, cheap payments. Now, it doesn't mean we can't offer Ethereum as a whole. Let's say we took Ethereum and we just took it as a settlement. But you may be going, well, okay, well then if you're going to take Ethereum and maybe even settle ERC20 tokens and maybe some of the Ethereum smart contracts, what are you going to use as a smart contract platform for this? Well, I'm going to typically use Corda. And I'll go into why I'm going to actually use Corda. So let's go into, and in these little side panels you have here, we have ETH and Algo. What we're doing here is we'll be able to utilize Corda for our main business applications when it comes to private finance, because we can actually have that hybrid application use for having a private set of data on a public blockchain that's able to get broader public consensus but be able to retain its own private data, while at the same time being able to tap into these broader liquid networks with USD coin on Algorand. So I'll put USD coin on Algorand and NFTs, and let's say the ERC20 tokens on, you know what, I messed that up. But NFTs and the ERC20 tokens on Ethereum. So now you're able to tap into this broader liquidity on these two other alternative smart contract platforms. You're able to have potentially a smart contract execute, issue US dollars on Algorand for your users to be able to have instant liquidity into US dollars. You may be able to issue ERC20 tokens on Ethereum, and you may actually have a broader scope of what you're able to do with your application based off of the projects that are happening on these other applications, even though you're not using it as your primary smart contract platform to build the application on. It's almost like you're using these as features on the total broader application. Now, another reason why I chose Corda is I can actually use Corda Settler, which I won't get too into, but Corda Settler is a feature. Corda Settler is a feature. Well, it'll allow you to settle in XRP, XDC. Well, it settles in XDC natively, so I guess that's technically not true. I'll put XDC out here. XDC is the Corda native token. XRP, XDC, Bitcoin, whatever you want. It can settle in off-chain. It can settle in the Swift system, Swift GPI, and we'll get more into the Swift system, the traditional banking system. But Corda Settler, basically, I know this looks like it's hard to read, but forgive my handwriting. Corda Settler basically allows you to have a on-chain receipt system for off-chain payments. So if I wanted to make a off-chain payment of XRP, off-chain payment of Bitcoin, off-chain payment of a wire payment, I can use the Corda blockchain as a receipt mechanism to make sure these payments are being made, executed, settled, and then basically allow the execution of the rest of the smart contract that I executed, even though the token that was paid for was off-chain. And it does this through a series of receipt mechanisms going in and out of these broader blockchain technologies, and constantly checking the payments being made on the accounts that are being transacted on both crypto and the traditional banking system. So, okay, cool. So we have Corda. I stated a little bit before that it has that private relationship where I'm able to custody my own private data independently. Now, why is this important? Well, we've got the whole business side to deal with. Now, this may be a decentralized application, but we're still a business, guys. Like, and one thing I will get into, too, is you may be going, but isn't everything supposed to be decentralized? Isn't everything supposed to be operating on the blockchain? Have we not ascended past the blockchain layer of being able to be your own custody of whatever the libertarian dream is? I honestly don't know where to go with it. Go talk to some Bitcoin maximalists, and he'll tell you all about whatever that is. But the main thing is these are just softwares that allow you to build certain applications on them. What you do with the software is really up to what you want the application to do. So yeah, so I'm going to be operating, and I could, if I wanted to, open source the technology and really try to go into trying to be in another Uniswap or whatever. But I want to be another Robinhood, not a fucking Uniswap. So, and we want to be better because we want to be scalable. So one reason why we do this in the blockchain, as opposed to doing this on a traditional cloud software, and one of my specialties is actually cloud, is we're actually able to tap into a broader network of computational power without actually having to pay for that power ourselves. Now in Corda, we have to manage our own nodes, but when it comes to dealing with the payment softwares of all the underlying blockchains that we're using, Ethereum, Algorand, XLM, XRP, we don't have to manage all these servers all over the place managing payments. We're basically able to leverage the blockchains and then be able to optimize off of our servers running our applications and use their servers to run the payments. We're able to actually get a better scale and better granular application for a lot cheaper. It could cost thousands of dollars for servers in the cloud, where if you run it on, and here's where things kind of flip around. So although things may cost thousands of dollars to run it in the cloud, you can basically run whatever software you want for free on the software. Well, what does that mean for blockchain? Well, it means you've got to pay to execute functions and to execute, and that obviously that's the smart contracts paying in their native token to be able to execute the needed payment to run the automation. So that's kind of the trade-off. You really pay up front in the cloud to do whatever you want, where in the blockchain, you pay on demand for whatever you're executing as you're executing it, on top of whatever you pay for your main application server to run your base application, however that is. Whether it's a Corda server, Ethereum server, some application server with an accumulation of multiples. But the main thing is we've got the business. All these business needs. We got finance. We've got data, and that's generic on purpose because we could be managing user data, we could be managing personal data, we could be managing compliance data. We have all this stuff to deal with, and this is another reason why I chose Corda. Corda actually allows for a series of different oh goodness, sorry about that. Corda actually allows for a series of different regulators to hop onto the platform as notaries to basically help for regulatory and live auditing purposes of these business needs. Now, I'll go into more of how the Corda platform works with the notaries, but basically, a regulator could run a notary node and basically stamp off a series of transactions that need that regulatory approval on demand live while getting the same level of transparency and getting a better sense of automation as opposed to rummaging through a bunch of documents. You're able to get live auditing, live purpose, regulatory clearance on transactions, especially when you're dealing with securities. And you get this level of privacy when dealing with the Corda node. Okay, cool. So we got the Corda node. You may be going, well, we've got all these tokens. How is this all be going? Well, now that we got our Corda node running, how are we going to run that application? Well, we're going to have the application, and on the front end, most people aren't going to see this, but we're developers, so we're cool. We're going to talk about what's going to be something people don't see. So we got the account, the user account, and let's say the user account has a series of different assets that they may hold. Well, what does this mean in the back end? Well, this means we're going to be using Corda settler. I'm going to use CD here. Let's say they had XRP. Let's say they had USDC, but on XLM. Let's say they had USDC on Algo. Or maybe not USDC. Let's say they had JPY, because they're cool like that. On Algo. Let's say they had some ETH. And let's say they had, I don't know, some Doge or something goofy. It doesn't matter. You can have whatever goofy coin they want. And let's say they wanted to make a transaction, not only be able to send money to their friend, but they also wanted to make some sort of transaction with the exchange. Well, we would actually have a smart contract operating between Corda settler and the exchange, and we would have the smart contracts essentially execute the automation that we wanted. We would have the smart contract execute the automation that we wanted to essentially run, let's say, an exchange. Let's say send money. So we got an account, we got Corda settler, we have a smart contract, we have this executing with an exchange to basically run an exchange, to basically be able to make an exchange in money with from dollars to XRP, XRP to XLM, whatever it may be in exchange, or for you to take whatever payment method you want and send it to your friend via just being able to send it out from their account. So you got your smart contract layer, you've got a settlement layer for all the different tokens that we were able to settle in, and we've got our basic transaction between account users and exchanges when it comes to transactions. All right, cool. We're almost done here. We got the good basic portion. Someone's able to create an account. They're able to buy off the exchange. They're able to send money. But the last portion, dude, I want to go buy milk with my milk derivatives. All right, so what are we going to do? Well, let's say we got main app, and this is why Corda was also important. We got our main app, and we're trying to make sure that when you go out and you spend this card, it's able to take money from your app account. Oh yeah, my writing is atrocious. But it's able to take money from your app account, and it's able to make sure it's able to run the appropriate automation needed. Now, let's say you wanted to set on your account that your default payment was going to be in Ethereum. Yeah, that's right. You're an ETH head, and you're loving it. You're buying your milk in Ethereum. Now, I would normally go for the milk derivatives, but let's just say Ethereum for right now. What ended up happening is this Ethereum would actually run through this automation, which would be a smart contract, exchange itself with the exchange, come back as US dollars, and pay the merchant at whatever that may be. And with this being an Ethereum, you're able to make that payment on the Ethereum network through the exchange, while the account with the smart contract is able to deal with the transactional, I guess you could say, appointment needed to make this transaction possible. Now, let's say you didn't want Ethereum, but you wanted, like I said, your milk derivative. So we got milk. It's actually milk 3. And let's say it's on the XRP ledger. Now, this is where the magic happens. So when you had Ethereum, you had to go through that exchange to make sure you're able to provide the liquidity needed to execute that trade between Ethereum and dollars to make sure the card's able to make the payment. With XRP, you're able to execute on the XRP decentralized exchange. And as you're moving from milk derivatives, you're not moving it into dollars. You would be moving it from milk derivatives into XRP, and XRP into whatever the CBDC token US dollar coin may be, USDC. And that will make the payment needed. Now, you may be going, well, can't we do this with all of them? XRP is special because it's one of the few decentralized exchanges that allows for this rippling effect to be able to make payments from one asset into another natively. Now, we can actually have that smart contract execute as needed to be able to make sure other accounts and other trades are able to be made off other platforms. But XRP is quite interesting and quite native in being able to do that natively. That means our stocks, you know it, stocks, bonds, whatever, everything that we have on our network will be able to run on XRP, be able to do the transaction as needed in real time through the XRP decentralized exchange, and be essentially our main settlement token, be able to use our Algorand, our XDC, our Ethereum to execute any sort of short-term smart contract for any main automation, while being able to maintain most of our tokens and settlements in XRP or XLM to maintain basic payments for that card. And voila, you got yourself a cool, chill, new app. It's going to kick Robinhood's butt. Decentralized. You can run on, all of it will be running on decentralized applications. Yes, you have a centralized company, but these are tools. Remember that. And bing, bang, boom, you got yourself something quite interesting here. Now, if you made yourself to the end of this video, you're a boss-ass bitch, because who the fuck makes it past a technical video like this? So make sure you throw some love in the comments. Definitely share this with people you think this may be interesting with. Definitely share this with your favorite YouTubers, because we need to get people out there talking about how you use the tech. Why you use the tech, who's going to use the tech, why they're going to use the tech, why they have to use the tech, and why I'm using the tech. And if you have any questions, make sure you ask them in the comments, of course, because I think I'm going to make a video answering some of the commenters' questions to see what are some common questions people may have. This is really important, you know? If you've got questions, who's going to answer them? The Bitcoin Max that's telling you to fucking pump the coin, get in, get in. Now, obviously, I'm a big fan of these coins that I listed out here, but I'm a fan of them because I'm using them. And in my opinion, I think they all have utility and they all have a use case in the future. So make sure, if you have any questions, anything interesting you want to ask it in the questions or in the comments below. And yeah, we'll go over that. We'll talk about it. We'll see, you know, what are some deficits and what are some gaps in the overall general consensus of traders, investors, people interested in the technology, developers, like what's going on here, you know? This isn't just about buying and pumping coins. This is about building the future of applications here. But look at this, I'm blue. Anywho, if you liked the video, share it, like it, comment it, talk about it. Peace.